CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Premier Doug Ford says his government will bring in new legislation making medical testing on dogs illegal in the wake of the St. Joseph's healthcare scandal. Hospital officials have repeatedly refused our interview requests for comment on the matter, and they've abruptly changed their policies after consulting with the government. With the latest reaction, here's Rita Ismail.
A decision to end dog testing at St. Joseph's Healthcare has animal advocates celebrating and asking what comes next.
Absolutely elated to learn that no more dogs will suffer and die in these cruel experiments at St. Joseph's.
Animal Justice, a Canadian animal law organization, says it was whistleblowers who first alerted them to what they were witnessing inside the hospital on the, quote, secret sixth floor.
What we found based on their information was dogs who were being induced with up to 3-hour heart attacks and then used in medical imaging studies and used in the same MRI machines that human patients at St. Joseph's were used in.
The fact that we are all grieving.
After the news was made public last week, community outrage grew, including a protest over the weekend. And on Monday, the hospital responded. In a statement to CTV News, the hospital said the Government of Ontario is an important partner in every aspect of our work. Following consultations with the province, St. Joseph's will immediately cease research studies involving dogs. We acknowledge that this will have a significant impact on the groundbreaking research that has resulted in major strides in cardiac care and treatment.
I found out on social media, and I'm thinking that's pretty cruel.
Speaking at an event in Windsor today, Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he intends to pass legislation making dog testing illegal in the province.
I think we just legislate it and ban it. There's no reason we need to be using poor little dogs, right, or cats or anything like that. It's just unacceptable. It's cruel. It's inhumane.
Pigs who are suffering in experiments as well, who have open wounds on their backs. And there are also rodents being used in tests at St. Joseph's. And I don't think that the public accepts any form of animal testing at a public hospital.
As for the dogs still at the facility, the Beagle Alliance, a national charity that rehomes animals from research labs, has reached out to help. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
The Middlesex London Health Unit is closing its Strathroy location. Brian Bicknell has more on the reasons behind that decision.
Foot traffic is down and staff no longer use this site as much as they used to. That's why the Middlesex London Health Unit has opted to close its Strathroy location, located in the Shops on Sydenham Mall.
We saw underutilization on the staffing front after the pandemic with more hybrid work opportunities for our staff. We just did not have the same number of people using the site from a staffing perspective. And we also saw changes in how clients were engaging those services. We recognize that clients are still starting to access more and more services through online and virtual spaces, is reasonable. And so we are adapting to that as we speak.
Dr. Summers also says the move was brought on as an effort to reduce operating costs. The closure will save $200,000 per year. He says staffing will not be affected and clients will receive the same services but in different settings.
For example, we'll be offering some of our sexual health and immunization clinical services at the dental clinic site on a monthly basis. We're working with a neighboring pharmacy to provide some of the services that we used to through this physical space, and the drop-off of well water samples will still be possible at both the dental clinic site as well as through the Middlesex County Library Strathroy location.
Strathroy Caradoc Mayor Colin Grantham tells CTV News he's disappointed but not shocked given funding for health services, but he is glad services will continue to be offered. The closure takes effect October 31st. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A car burst into flames in South London earlier tonight. This was the scene near Wonderland and Warncliffe around 9 p.m. According to witnesses, a single van began smoking and then caught fire. Emergency crews responded and were able to extinguish the flames quickly, and no injuries have been reported. At City Hall, the Planning Committee is supporting a developer's plan to build townhouses on a vacant Soho lot, the same site of a derelict home city crews had to demolish last year.
The circumstances suggest to the public that this has just been a case of a demolition by neglect, and now there's going to be a huge windfall.
This derelict house on South Street was purchased by Anmoore Homes in 2021. It was the subject of repeated property standards and safety complaints before it was demolished last fall. The committee supported the owner's plan to build 25 townhouses while raising questions about better enforcing property standards across the city.
If there's not a law against it, there should be. So I think maybe I'll be taking this at some point back to CAPS in terms of enforcement.
We can not like the players, we cannot like how we got here, but from a Planning Act perspective, from a provincial policy statement perspective, and from the decisions of this committee, we're here to discuss land use issues.
The Planning Committee is also putting the Thames Valley District School Board on the clock, setting a deadline to get provincial approval for a new high school in northwest London. The Planning Committee recommended rezoning this property on Sunningdale Road for institutional uses. However, if the board can't get provincial approval and funding in 3 years, the developer could build housing on the site instead. Councillor Corinne Rahman also said other institutional uses could be considered after that 3-year period.
The developer has went out of their way to work with the school board. They have signaled through this report that this is their intention. And holding that land for 3 years, even if the school board got approval next year or this coming year, it doesn't mean that they'd be ready to move forward in a comprehensive way.
Closing submissions today at the intimidation trial against a man convicted of online harassment and child pornography. Nick Paparella has more from the London courthouse.
As closing submissions are being made, 44-year-old Jason Nasser sat next to his lawyer wearing a COVID mask and taking notes. In January of 2023, the man who created Creeper Hunter TV, a website he claimed was intended to catch predators, was on trial and eventually convicted of harassment, extortion, and producing child pornography. It was at that trial that Nasser would be charged with intimidating a justice participant, when in a heated exchange, he told the court he knew the name of the Crown's child. In his closing, the Crown at the intimidation trial, Thomas Mack, said that Nasser was seething when he said the name, saying the only reason he made those comments at the time is with the intention of causing fear in the Crown to impede him during cross-examination. Mack said he should be found guilty because people know that Nasser is proficient online. He's adept at locating targets and he's able to intrude digitally into people's lives. And he's one who went to significant lengths to extort, harass, and shame his targets. Later, defense lawyer Ingrid Grant told the court the Crown hasn't proven its case because Nasser did not provoke fear or impede his earlier trial. She said the judge at the time cut him off and didn't let him complete his sentence after mentioning the child's name. Grant said Mr. Nasser gets angry. He's speaking off the cuff while he's upset. The judge is expected to hand down his decision on this latest case on Wednesday. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Perth County OPP say they've arrested and charged one person and they're looking for a second suspect following a violent home invasion. Police say 2 people broke into a West Perth home back on July 12th and assaulted the homeowner. The second suspect is described as a white man with dark medium-length hair and a dark beard, wearing light-colored shorts and white shoes. Police say they're also looking for a light blue 4-door hatchback. St. Thomas City Council has voted against taking the city's emergency shelter out of the downtown, defeating a motion to move the facility today. With more on that decision, here's Brent Lale.
We've had to barricade our property in order to protect our properties because we're 2 doors away from the emergency shelter.
Business owner and city councillor Earl Taylor is fed up with the homeless who use the city's shelter.
People have had to put up fences, blocks that the city has installed to keep people from congregating. boarded up windows and burned down buildings and theft from historical properties. It's unfortunate.
He was hoping to get city staff to find an alternate location for the inn, one where they'd have a place to congregate and not be spending all day on city or private property. However, his motion was defeated 7-2 at council.
Your Worship, the motion is lost.
We're not going to ignore the conversations we had last night. Let's move forward and continue to improve our downtown.
Mayor Joe Preston believes the city is closer to reducing the number of daily tenants at the inn.
Somewhere around 100 on our by names list, right? Balaclava is under construction. I get to tour it sometime shortly. 78 housing units. Well, you take 78 off 100, you're in pretty good shape. Tiny Hope, 40 more units there. But we got to thank our friends also at Eastwood, who are building a building of 85 heavily affordable units. So we now see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Taylor also wants to reach 0% homelessness, but disputes the mayor's projections.
We were at 75 in 2021, reduced it to 56 in 2022, and now in March of 2025, we're at 124 households and 106 chronic homelessness people. And 24% of the people that we do house come back into the homelessness situation. I'm an optimist, but I'm pessimistic about us being able to reach a 0% homelessness. My goal, of course, was to find a better solution for our emergency shelter and our downtown, and unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Coast Guards on both sides of the border are warning people not to take part in this weekend's Port Huron float down. The event takes place on the third Sunday in August on the St. Clair River. Officials say the water poses serious dangers and Transport Canada is restricting all water vessels. Authorities cite the 2014 float down when a 19-year-old died. Despite the annual warnings, thousands of people have participated each year. The curtain rises on the London Fringe Theatre Festival tonight.
Do you think that's enough to break into someone else's house? The door was open. Oh, really?
Dozens of performances are scheduled for the next 5 days. The festival supports up-and-coming artists. Organizers say most of the $15 ticket sales go directly to the performers. The lineup includes drama, comedies, and interactive performances.
Their vibrancy and their enthusiasm is so contagious, and you leave really, really uplifted no matter what subject matter.
A local woman spent her birthday at a hospital today celebrating by giving back. As Lauren Stallone reports, she spent plenty of time in hospital herself over the last 20 years and wanted to help others going through tough treatments.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I appreciate this.
For her birthday this year, Christina Locke is trading candles for kindness.
I'm just so happy that I'm here to celebrate my birthday and to share the joy I feel of having another birthday.
After a 20-year battle with lymphoma, Christina knows how even small expenses like parking can weigh on families.
Part of my healing journey, I wanted to give back, and I thought the best way to give back would be to pay for their parking, because it is something that's going directly to the patient, and it is sparking some joy for them on a day that may not be the best day.
This is the second year in a row Christina has visited the Verspeten Family Cancer Center at London Health Sciences Center.
As patients enter and I hand them their parking pass, right away their faces light up.
For Christina, that is proof that even a parking pass can be a ticket to kindness.
It means so much because this is a scary place to come when you've got cancer, and it just means so much that somebody is so thoughtful to pay everybody's parking for the day.
It helps with coming when your wife has cancer, so it does help to not pay because it does cost a lot.
Christina has a fund set up through LHSF and has raised over $3,700 to date.
This is something I would like to continue to do yearly for my birthday, and it's something I would like my children and my grandchildren to continue also. A legacy I can leave behind.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Still ahead, pulling their weight, the local Tug of War team digging in their heels and heading overseas. Canada's main stock index advanced on strength in the real estate and financial sectors. The TSX up 146 points. In New York, the Dow added 484. The Nasdaq up 297. Canadian dollar up 0.06 And on commodity markets, gold lost $5.70 an ounce and oil fell 79 cents a barrel. The federal energy minister shed new light today on the government's plan to turn Canada into an energy superpower. As Rachel Aiello reports, liquefied natural gas will be a significant part of that plan, among other major nation-building projects.
I know there are buyers.
Canada's energy minister made it clear today that with multiple projects in the works and a global demand for cleaner energy, there's a market for Canadian liquefied natural gas that may help make the case for facilities to be fast-tracked through the new national projects process.
What I can tell you from the conversations that the Prime Minister has been having, the Minister of Foreign Affairs has been having, the Minister of International Trade has been having, the conversations I've been having, our allies are very interested in Canadian LNG.
A comment the natural resources sector welcomed.
More customers, more shipments, more LNG export facilities means more jobs for Canadians.
The minister said that as soon as the private sector, provincial governments, and Indigenous groups put forward projects, the federal government will start deciding which ones are in the national interest.
I would expect you would see a rolling set of announcements over the fall as different projects mature and meet the criteria.
While stating the government remains committed to its climate objectives, the minister wouldn't rule out easing federal emissions targets to move these projects forward.
Well, the LNG emissions math is inescapable. So these projects in Canada result in significant increase in emissions. Like one project is equal to about 1 million cars.
Minister Hodgson said that he's focused on results and not how we get there, indicating the powers Cabinet now has through Bill C-5 allows him to deal with any issues that arise. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Chinese officials are escalating a trade dispute with Canada, and canola farmers are caught in the middle. China has announced massive anti-dumping duties, seemingly retaliating for Canada's tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. Judy Trin reports.
My farm is roughly half canola. So today is very devastating news, obviously, to me.
Andre Harp is one of 40,000 canola farmers in Canada who woke up to the news that China was imposing a 75.8% duty on the oilseed. Canola prices dropped $1 a bushel after the anti-dumping tariff was announced. More bad news for an industry contending with drought just weeks away from harvest.
Not only are we facing a yield loss, but at the same time, obviously now we're facing an income loss for whatever we do grow. So it's, right now this could be a double whammy.
In 2024, Canada exported $5 billion of canola to China. To justify its actions, China said that after conducting an investigation, it found that Canada was providing its farmers with unfair subsidies. This escalation has its roots in the former Liberal government's decision to impose tariffs on electric vehicles.
We will be introducing a 100% tariff on Chinese-made electric vehicles.
The previous government in Ottawa had done this to align its policy on China with that of Washington, but we didn't get any brownie points.
The canola industry generates more than $40 billion annually and employs 200,000 people. Saskatchewan's premier says that's bigger than the steel, aluminum, and auto industry combined.
Canola producers hit with these Chinese tariffs, I would say that they deserve the same attention by our federal government and our prime minister as we're seeing in other industries.
To improve the Canada-China trading relationship, Premier Mo says that the Prime Minister needs to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping as soon as possible. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. We have showers and thunderstorms moving through the area tonight in advance of a cold front that will break the heat across southern Ontario. The heat warning comes to an end. Temperatures will still be warm Wednesday afternoon and still humid, but will be out of the heat warning criteria. 20 to 21 degrees first thing in the morning, a 60% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms as we start the day. Thank you, Michelle, for this photo of Roxy and Daisy. They were out for a little bit of a crop tour. If you are heading out this morning, pack your boots. You may need them in the field. We are expecting a bit of rainfall.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie Atchison now. And yesterday we started off the week talking about just how dry it had been for much of the region for the last month or so. And finally, at least tonight, some rain for parts of our region.
Yeah, we have a cold front that's coming through, and we've had some thunderstorms in advance of that front. Heavy downpours, Carlyle, associated with some of these storms. Lots of moisture to work with when you have a humidex of 40. That just indicates just how much moisture is in the atmosphere. So these storms packing a punch, a lot of them sitting stationary over areas. So that means lots of rain in a very short period of time. Our high today hit 32. It felt like 40. Our low temperature 21, comparing that with what's normal, a normal overnight low for this time of year. We're well above 19 to 20 degrees, 22 in and around Long Point. And as we head to Midwestern Ontario tonight, Huron and Perth about 20. Cold front. This will exit by tomorrow morning, and the air coming in behind it is a bit cooler and drier, but you won't notice a big difference. However, the heat warning comes to an end, and the reason is we're going to be out of that 40 mark. So humidex levels dropping off just a bit. So it'll feel like the mid-30s through the day on Wednesday, not close to 40. So the frontal boundary continuing to trek its way through, scattered showers and thunderstorms in advance of it. And again, as we push into tomorrow morning, the bulk of the moisture will be moving out, indicated by the forecast model. There'll be some areas in southern Ontario that won't pick up any rainfall at all, but there'll be other areas that see a very, quite amount rather, in a short period of time. So as we head into Wednesday afternoon, evening, skies will clear. There'll still be a few pop-up showers around, the probability holding at about a 40% chance, but we'll see a fair amount of sunshine in the afternoon as well. Thursday looks beautiful with sunshine, gorgeous conditions as we head toward the weekend. Now the weekend looking good, dry to start. We'll end on a wet note. Sunday we could see some showers move in by Sunday night, but other than that, we'll be in the clear. Not a lot of opportunities for rain other than a few chances for showers. 28 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud a Wednesday afternoon. Thursday sunshine and 28. 31 on Friday, 33 on Saturday. It's going to get steamy heading into the weekend, and then a bit cooler Sunday, Monday into Tuesday. So temperatures will dip down closer to where we should be for this time of year. We're going to get out of that intense heat, but it will be quite hot to start the weekend with those highs climbing and the humidex feeling like 40 again. Midwestern Ontario, a break from the heat and humidity, although it'll still feel like the low 30s through the day tomorrow. That front comes through in the morning, and still about a 40% chance of showers. You'll hold on to a bit of cloud cover first thing in the morning. Thursday and Friday, sunshine 28 to 30. Lots of sunshine Saturday, and then the chance for nighttime rain. Risk of showers on Sunday, so unsettled over the weekend, and chance for showers on Monday, although just a 40% chance, so not widespread. There'll be some pop-up showers around, and a bit cooler Sunday, Monday into Tuesday. Daytime highs dipping back into the low to mid-20s. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. Local athletes specializing in a niche sport are on their way overseas for an international competition. Scott Miller has more on their fight for a Tug of War title.
With each practice, the Blue Water Youth Tug of War team is getting themselves ready to take on some of the best tug of war teams in the world.
It's a huge deal for us, we're going to the Netherlands, it's a different country, so we know that the competition is going to be really hard over there because, we've just been around here doing competitions in North America, and that's, a small area, but now that we're going on like the world stage and against a whole bunch of other countries around the world, it's just a bigger deal, and we're really excited to show off what we got.
Hoffman is one of 10 members of the Blue Water Youth Tug of War team headed to the International Tug of War Tournament in the Netherlands on August the 30th. Very few North American teams ever get to participate, but this group of 10 to 17-year-olds who train bi-weekly near Dashwood have won the last 3 U23 North American Tug of War Championships, so they are eager to take on stiffer competition overseas.
Yep, the future of tug of war in Canada. Hopefully we can get it to grow back to what some of the countries like Switzerland and the Netherlands have with, memberships in the thousands. But you got to start here.
Blue Water has always had a strong senior tug of war team, but building up a junior squad has been a slow and steady process, convincing kids they don't need to be 250 pounds of pure muscle in order to participate.
It's more about technique and having multiple people on the rope. More people on the rope that you can fit underneath the weight limit, the better you are.
It's really all in the legs. You just have to pull what you can.
Tug of war is totally inclusive. You just have to be strong for your weight, whether it's 100 pounds or 300 pounds. You're accountable for every pound of that on the rope, and that goes towards your team weight. So it's all relative, right?
Blue Water's youth tug of war team leaves for the Netherlands in just a couple weeks as they ready to represent Canada at the world's biggest tug of war competition for kids.
Yeah, it's so cool. Being able to tell people that you're going to represent our country is the coolest thing to be able to say. So
I'm really excited. I feel like it's a good opportunity for teamwork and just to represent Canada.
It's explosive power. Yeah, the kids are ready.
In Huron County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Finally tonight, a young girl trying to spread smiles around London, hiding positive messages in bottles. But as Sean Irvin reports, you won't find these floating in the Thames.
Meet Londoner Emma Trowell sitting alongside her mother, Mary. Just 9 years old, she takes pride in sharing positive messages.
Never stop believing.
That is just one of many mottos Emma has carried with her since she was 4 years old. Inspired by painted rocks with positive messaging common during the pandemic, Emma thought it was time to put smiles back on faces as a summer project. But she has put a twist on the delivery method, using tiny bottles.
I write a cute message like, have a great day, and did you know you're amazing? Then I'll put it back in the bottle, maybe add some glitter to it, and then I could hide it around the city.
Over the last month, more than 24 bottles have been partially hidden in public areas. A sign she has created alerts passers-by to search.
I hope that they would have a better day if they're like really sad or something like that.
She wanted whoever found it, no matter their age or where they came from, that when they found that, they read it and it turned their day around or made them smile.
It did not take long for Emma's vision to become a reality. The bottles began disappearing, and then social media posts started appearing. Some posters said the signs made their day, while those who took the time to find them were thrilled to read the various positive messages placed inside.
I felt happy that someone found it, and I hope that made them feel better.
Those seeing the post quickly called for others to follow Emma's example. She's hopeful people will.
If they're having a bad day, you could just give it to someone.
We would love if other people want to also do similar things, whether it's having kind messages in a jar, as Emma's doing, or simply being kind in your day. It can go a long way.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.